It's that time of year. Grab the mulled wine and a mince pie. It's the Christmas 2024 episode of Album Armageddon.
Welcome to the Christmas 2024 episode of Album Armageddon. I'm your host, Si Stevens, and joining me as always are my two amazing co-hosts. She's the driver of the sleigh ride of scorn. It's Cath McCauley.
That's right, Rick.
And he's the editing elf that is most certainly overworked. It's Stu Whitehouse.
Watcher.
How are you both on this amazingly festive evening?
Oh, good, cold, good. No snow though. Rainy, rubbish, rainy.
Well, okay, so just...
okay, that was a quick little...
Yeah, it's just that we've not got time for this, Stu. We've discussed this. It's a bumper-packed episode. And it is a special Christmas edition of the show, so we are doing things a little differently. Well, I kind of say that we're doing it differently, but if you listen to last year's show, you kind of get the rough idea. It's going to be pretty much more the same. Basically, there will be no track battles during this episode, but instead what we will have is categories chosen by our community. We will then each pick a song that we feel personally fits the category best. So no trying to pick a winner between the two tracks, and no napalm death cards because it's the time of festive cheer, goodwill to all, and lots of presents. Luckily for me and Cath, it will be Christmas presents and not wedding presents.
What a lovely callback.
And speaking of presents... I know, I can't help it. And speaking of presents, what a beautiful segue. It's almost like we have planned this. We have a few presents ourselves for this episode that need unwrapping. And that's a few extra hosts to make this the biggest episode of Album Armageddon ever. And an editing nightmare for poor Stu. So, without further ado, he's the master of the minor chord. D, that is. It's Rob McCauley.
Yes! The finest of chords. Good evening, all.
And she's the sensei of social media shenanigans. It's only Emma Garrett.
Hello! Yay!
And finally, he was going to be the clown prince of pre-recording, but he's got special permission to be here. Coming live from the future, it's Dwayne Pearson.
Oh, that joke never gets old.
I do. I'm older than all of you by 12
all
hours.
Of you. And thank you all for coming.
Welks.
Yeah,
that's lovely to be here.
I think I was contractually obliged to be here, wasn't I? I mean,
yes, you were.
Did I have an option not to be here?
No options. So before we go any further, there are two pieces of business we need to take care of. Firstly, thank you to Mrs. Dwayne for letting him come out to play on her birthday.
It's her birthday. Ooh. Happy birthday.
Yes,
happy birthday, Mrs. Dwayne.
Yes.
And secondly, and this is mainly for our guests, obviously this is the biggest episode of Album Armageddon ever, so to make things easier on Stu, I just want to highlight that although you can swear, whatever you do, don't say... Because if you do say Stu has to edit the word out using our special bleeper. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, Dwayne, what word can't you say? Correct. Emma, what's the word Stu would rather we didn't mention?
That would be good.
Excellent.
And you're meant to be nice.
Rob, I know you're a bit rusty at all this, but just to clarify, the word you're not going to say for Stu is?
Oasis.
Actually, yeah, that's way worse.
I think that's way worse, actually. And Cath, you obviously know the word, right?
Yep, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm definitely not going to say so that just leaves Stu. You know what not to say, don't you, Stu?
Yes, I know what not to say. I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to edit me out, am I?
No, we've noticed that normally with the normal episodes.
Right, that's just added half an hour to me editing. Thank you. Sorry.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Stu.
I think you need a new contract, Stu.
Yeah, I do as well.
It's time for renegotiation.
No, the dental plan's not enough for Stu anymore. Finally, we all know the rules. We have a category. We each pick a song that we feel fits the category best. That's not easy to say after a glass of wine. And yes, this is much harder than we first thought it would be. I mean, when you can technically pick any song ever, you have a lot of choice. So,
some might say too much.
Too much choice, baby. Yeah, definitely too much choice. So with
But
that out of the way,
there is no wrong answer. Remember that, Cath.
Oh, no, there is.
No, there is no
There
wrong
are
answers.
challenge accepted, Stu.
Shit.
So with that out of the way, 6 hosts, 5 categories, over 30 tracks. Let's start the biggest episode ever.
Woo!
And our first category is Haven't I Heard This Somewhere Before? This is basically for our favourite cover version of a song. We're going to feature both the cover version and the original version on our playlist, so you can see where our minds were going and what made me think it's a great cover version. So first up on this one is Robbie.
Oh, God. I mean, talk about throwing me in the deep end. You can chuck a couple of bricks in on top of me. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Honestly. Well, now, this is a toughie, man. I mean, cover versions, Jesus. So in the process of doing today's episode, I went through my MP3 collection, which is a good opportunity to update it with some extra albums. And we're looking at about a sift through of 18,000 tracks for this one. So thanks very much for that, Si. Much appreciated. Now, in the preamble, in the pre-show, which is only available on the bonus DVD and director's cut, of course, we said no honourable mentions. And of course, there were quite a few. But I'm going to cut to the chase. So I sifted through my collection, and the one cover version that really stood out for me, to the point where most people think this is the original, not the cover, would be good old Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower.
Ah,
Good call.
Which, of course, was first written by Bob Dylan, everyone's favourite air raid siren, apart from Bruce Dickinson, of course, or Hawaiian Bruce. Yeah, so a particular memory for that one. There was I was working out in Greece, and the family came over, and my dad tried scuba diving for the first time, and so as I was working for the hotel that he was staying in, or attached to it, decided to give him a little certificate. And so that he would come up to the appropriate music, All Along the Watchtower seemed to be the right music for a man of his stature and generation.
Cool.
So it's got a particular fondness for me, and I'm going to throw that into the ring, All Along the Watchtower.
Good choice.
Excellent.
Good.
Bang.
I thought you were going to
choice.
Take That.
Well, we haven't got to guilty pleasures yet.
Okay, next up we have... who should we go to next? Stu.
Hello. Right. This song, quite frankly, if you don't like this song,
Oh, here we
Or
go.
this
It's the
version.
wedding present.
Oh, here we
if
go.
this version of this song,
God, that's
you are
the wedding present.
truly dead inside and you don't like fun. And that's all I'm saying. So,
Guilty as charged.
so I'm bringing to the plate Common People, which we all know is made by Paul.
No.
But this is the William Shatner and Ben Folds version.
Oh, my
One
God.
of the greatest cover songs I've ever heard in my entire life. So, yes, it's a novelty song. Of course it is. Like, everybody knows William Shatner can't sing. He's just basically a big joke. Da, 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 da.
Oh.
But this song does something. This song is just incredible. You know, it's probably because of Ben's Fold and his production, because he harmonizes on it, and there's a choir, and it just builds up and up and up, and there's this massive crescendo at the end. It's actually a perfect song. It is just the normal lyrics of Common People. You know, it's just, and William Shatner's like talking, he doesn't sing. You know what he does.
Dude, what's wrong with you and your taste in
Oh,
music?
come on, Cath. Come on. No, I've got a great taste in music. He just, stop being dead inside. Have fun with it.
Shatner, do me a favour.
And
You know,
did I say once that Shatner was good at singing then? Did I? No, I didn't, did I?
You know when you walk into like a piece of furniture and it catches you right in that bad spot in the shin. As Stu said that, both of my shins experienced that sort of pain.
Well, we quite frankly know the Macaulay people are dead inside. We know that. Don't we? So
No,
anyway,
no.
so the when Ben's Fold kicks in as well, it's it's the harmonies they do, even though Shatner's just talking, and then like Ben's singing his ass off, and there's the choir that comes in at the end. It's perfect, and that is my song. It's brilliant.
Wow.
It is brilliant.
Wow.
It's
I mean-
really not perfect.
Wow.
I mean, it's
Wow.
not. Yeah, it's wow. It's definitely wow. But however, I will back you up on a little bit here. Pulp is the correct answer when someone asks you Blur or Oasis.
Yeah,
True.
well, yeah, that is true.
Ooh.
Can we said that word now twice in this episode?
Oasis.
So we three. Then we can't do that anymore.
No. There's no filter strong
there's no
enough
filter
to
for that
remove
one.
that.
Well,
So it took 10 minutes and the gloves are off. So
Yeah,
well
this
done,
is it.
Stu.
Stew.
I think honestly, if you don't like it, well,
that's
Yeah.
something to like follow up, isn't it? And so, Dwayne.
I just have to say, before we start, I always preferred, I liked William Shatner's version of, is it Space Oddity? Like,
Yes.
he does a spoken word thing. It's just hilarious.
it's a novelty.
It's a novelty. It's hilarious, but it's not
Gonna be
good.
a long
But
night.
yes.
Yeah, but this actually, to be fair, has anybody heard this version before
Yes.
you start slagging it off?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. Well, forget you two then. You don't two don't
Of
count.
course not. I mean, not knowing something is no bar to
Oh,
having
come on. It's
an ad hoc
Christmas, you
opinion.
miserable. Honestly, you lot are so miserable. But I've had enough. I'm leaving. Bye.
Once I've had a few mulled wines, I dare say. Maybe I'll put it on at my house party tomorrow when I want everyone to bugger off.
Yeah.
Not so much clear the palate, more clear the house. Dwayne, what are you going to try and combat the might of the Shatner?
Well, I'm a gentleman of a certain age, as we all know. So my musical genre sort of time was like 90s. So kind of very sort of grunge, that Britpop kind of, all that kind of great stuff. And around that time, we lost, I wouldn't say perhaps one of the best musicians, but certainly one of the most influential.
Is he going Alice in Chains here?
Oh, I wish I was going Alice in Chains. I love
okay.
Alice in Chains. No, Nirvana did an unplugged album. And on that album, they did an amazing cover of David Bowie's Man Who Sold the World, which I think is an absolutely fantastic version of that song. Lulu did it. Nirvana did it better, in my view.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. In fact, funny enough,
Can't say more than that.
Bowie also featured on my honours list, which I'm not allowed to mention. But
The New Year's honours list. Yeah, that's a strong pick.
I think that was one of the MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, it was the
sessions, wasn't
Unplugged,
it?
Unplugged album, which is just an amazing album.
Yeah, and funny enough, when I mentioned Alice in Chains, they did the MTV Unplugged
Yes,
as
they
well,
did. Yes,
and
they did.
I think it was the best thing they ever did, regardless of being a metal band or whatever. And that was really good. So, Dwayne, you've taken me back to
To when he had
my
hair.
greener days.
Yep. Yeah, a long time ago. Don't. Let's not talk about how long ago it was. It's depressing.
Okay, so next up, let's go with Cath. What is your cover version pick?
Okay, so it's a band that I'm generally not that keen on, but I got a CD from the NME of like bands just doing random cover versions, and I think a lot of them were actually better than the originals. So the band is Manic Street Preachers, and the cover they did was Umbrella by Rihanna.
What?
And I did.
Wow.
I thought I heard the Rihanna version before hearing the Manic's version, and I thought it was really catchy, and I really enjoyed it, and I actually prefer it more than Rihanna's version, which might also be a cover. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Sometimes, I mean, how do you know if something's a cover unless you are familiar with the original?
Fair point.
That is a fair point. I mean, look at us when we did the Madonna episode. There was quite a few cover, or Tina Turner as well.
Yes, Tina.
There was quite a few cover versions in there that you only knew because you knew.
Yeah.
But that sounds like
it's a good
interesting
one.
choice.
Good
Okay,
choice.
so it is a good choice. So that leads to chief troublemaker of social media,
Uh-huh.
Eva.
Hello.
What is your choice?
Hello. So my choice is one from quite recently. So it's from 2020. I've gone for Sam Fender's cover of Winter Song by Lindisfarne. So it's a really lovely. So it was done as a charity record, raising money for the Big Issue, and it's absolutely beautiful. So if you've ever heard the original, it's quite, I think, whiny is probably the word for his tone of voice. It's very sort of unproduced and kind of raw. And then Sam Fender kind of takes it and makes it really gentle. You can kind of hear that wintry feeling in this song. And I think it's absolutely beautiful cover. It's on my Christmas playlist. So it popped up the other day and I suddenly removed it. So
Cool.
thought I'd share it with you guys.
I do not know that version. I'm going to have to investigate.
Yes.
So, Lindisfarne, that's a name that rings a bell from the past.
Wasn't
I
it
thought
Fog
it
on,
was sort of
Fog on the Tyne?
Yeah.
Oh, was that? Ah. Well, you see, Emma's bringing the hit. Emma, being a bit younger than us, is bringing the cutting edge stuff. That we're in the 2020s. This is uncharted territory.
Do they have music now?
Apparently, yes.
Okay, so that's all of us complete. That just leaves me. My choice is shocking that no one else picked, especially when the majority of us have a rock genre appreciation. For cover versions, I feel that it has to either be an amazing version or enough to be changed from the original, so it doesn't feel like a poor facsimile.
Copy.
Poor copy. Yes, that's the word. X Factor contestants, I am looking at you. The original was recorded by two legends of the music industry, Simon and Garfunkel, and is very much a folk ballad and was featured on the soundtrack of the 1967 film The Graduate. However, the cover version was recorded 50 years later by heavy metal band Disturbed.
Oh, okay.
Which,
Wasn't expecting to say that.
Yeah, that didn't expect to come from. Which you would think would be a disaster, with the singer being well known for his ooh-wah in Down with the Sickness.
Band.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
band, yes.
And the song is Sound of Silence. And as I said, the original is well known. I mean, who doesn't know the opening lyric of Hello Darkness, My Old Friend? But the Disturbed version just takes it on a majestic journey. Musically, it starts off slow, but very quickly becomes epic with an orchestral backing. However, the piece de resistance is very much David Draymond's vocal delivery, which starts very low-key and finishes in a goosebump-inducing performance. So that's my pick.
Good choice. Good choice.
Obviously not as good as mine, but
I mean, there were some good choices there, and then there were Stu's. But let's see if we can redeem himself with the next category.
No, trust me. Trust me, when we get to wine. Even that was bad. Oh my good God. I don't even want to say.
So the next category is song you hate yourself for liking. This is a bit like a guilty pleasure, but much, much worse. You know you shouldn't like the song or the artist or both, but you just can't help yourself. So making their choice first, this one is Cath.
Oh, right. There's a lot of self-loathing going on with this one. Yes, I'm not proud at all. And I blame this bloody podcast for making me, exposing me to this album.
It's either going to be mine or Stu's fault, isn't it?
So it's definitely not a wedding present. What I did was basically I looked at Spotify Wrapped to find out what my number one track has been of the year, and I was horrified. So the band is Green Day.
Oh,
and apparently
not my fault.
I've listened to them for 900 minutes this year, and I'm one of their top 1% fans.
Wow. Cath, wow.
Cath, to be fair, you did actually say you've got a bit of
Stockholm Syndrome.
yeah, that's it with them.
Yeah.
So
So the track is Christian's Inferno. However,
Oh my God!
my defence, it's not. I've got a load of Amazon Alexas, and they go off at different times of the day to play music for an hour. I think that is also quite responsible for some of these shameful things that I've got on my list.
So you're trying to blame Jeff Bezos
Yes.
for your Green Day?
Yes,
habit.
I am definitely not the top 1% of the world Green Day fan.
Which one was Christian's Inferno? Was that the barbecue song that we christened it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. That's right.
So there you go.
It was it Burning Christians, or was it Christian had a barbecue that got out of control?
As it, like, oh! Yes, I remember that well. Yeah, I'm so glad that you've taken on one of my picks, Catherine.
Oh, I'm ashamed of myself.
I think you've actually listened to Green Day more than I have, according to my
Don't say
Spotify Wrapped.
that.
He's seen them live. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
the truth comes out, doesn't it?
I'm disappointed with myself.
Okay, next up we have Emma. What song do you hate yourself for liking?
Okay, so I had a lot of options because my music taste is terrible. But then I decided I like some of them actually, so they're not coming in this category, and one of them will feature later in one of the other categories. But what I settled for was a song that I absolutely loved when I was younger, and it is the second most famous pop star to come out of Neighbours, Delta Goodrem. Who is an Australian actress and singer who was in Neighbours in the early 2000s.
I thought you were going to say Jason Donovan.
Donovan.
Okay,
Or Guy Pearce.
I forgot about Jason. That'll make third then. I
Okay,
forgot about Jason.
cool.
Third.
We got you.
So did the music industry.
And I absolutely love it. So the song I've picked is Predictable, and it is a kind of teenage angsty, you're so predictable, how dare you always break my heart, I'm coming for you, you know, of girl power kind of song. And I just remember listening to it when I must have been about 13. I'd never spoken to a boy. What was I on about with heartbreak? Like, I just sat there and did exams. So I love listening to it now and thinking, I felt so in tune with these lyrics and all the drama going on in my life. I just think, what teenagers, how strange they are and the things they think are going on in their life. But I do absolutely still love listening to it and can remember every single word of every single song on the album.
Nice.
Nice.
So I'm going to just pop in here about the second most famous. So obviously we were all thinking Kylie and Jason, but third behind that was surely the guy that played Paul Robinson in Neighbours.
Oh, he did release a song.
Devon
Who released a
Dennis.
song
He
called "Don't It Make You Feel Good,"
Yes, he
and
did.
it was
Oh my
terrible.
Of course it was terrible, but I remember him now. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and he looked sort of really like angry and threatening. Don't it make you feel? Come on, don't it make you feel good? It was like super creepy.
I had completely forgotten about that. That's crazy.
You're welcome.
Oh man, that's superb. Dwayne, what are you going to pick for the song that you hate yourself for?
Well, right. So when it comes to Christmas, I'm a little bit sentimental, and I kind of have a bit of a forgiving streak for like Christmas songs, bands who do Christmas songs. So like The Darkness, I hate The Darkness, but you know, that Christmas song, it's kind of like,
Oh, it's terrible.
no, it is terrible, but you know, you kind of go, oh, it's a Christmas song, so I'll let it go. But actually, there's another band who I despise, possibly more than The Darkness, but they release a Christmas song which I actually like, which is Christmas Lights by Coldplay.
Stop the podcast.
Ooh.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Right.
I know. And it's on my Christmas playlist, and I don't skip it when it comes. The Darkness, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered with that. But the Coldplay one, it gets its full play, and that's it. I can't help myself.
Oh,
That's amazing.
Second category in, and we've put in a bedtime story on the playlist.
Wow. Coldplay. I mean, when I hear Coldplay, I literally hear the sound of static in my ear.
They're
So
beige.
it just passes
it's just
by.
Beige.
It is.
Yes,
It's
yes,
very
it's
beige.
the most beige of all things.
It's anaglypta beige. It's just like. Anyway, that's
Wow.
me. Sorry.
Wow.
I brought Coldplay to your playlist. Don't hate me.
I have a feeling it's going to get worse.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's going to
It's-
get much worse.
It's better than Shatner. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Poor Stu. He's
I'm just imagining what this podcast would do if Shatner did a duet with the wedding present.
God.
wow. You'd
Yeah,
have a whole
that-
episode dedicated to
We
it.
could,
I
we
reckon.
could, couldn't we? Robbie, what are you going to throw onto the fire here?
Well, I mean, some of the things I've heard are incredible. Quite frankly, I don't think I can possibly match that.
I think you can.
Well, there is a song that I don't see. The problem is, I don't think I like it. It's just it gets in my head when I hear it and goes on earworm repeat. So I don't know if that qualifies particularly, or should I construe it as song that I used to like that is now incredibly embarrassing to me.
That's the one. Yes, the hate yourself for liking.
Oh, well, yeah. So if I met myself as a youth, I would slap this one out of my own out of my own hands. But I when I was a youth, I bought, and I'm sure Cath knows exactly what's coming. I did buy the first Mel and Kim album.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting you to
Oh, what
say.
did you think it was going to be?
The Final Countdown.
Oh, God, I did. Yes. Yeah. That was a very difficult 80s period, I have said.
You're experimenting.
Where am I going? Yeah, I hadn't discovered thrash metal by that point. So, but yes, I did have the Mel and Kim album, but I'm not throwing that in. What I'm throwing in is a particular song that every time I hear it, it's so catchy, but I hate it, but I like it at the same time. And that song is Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus.
Oh, God, I hate that. It's so irritating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the way that he sings Teenage Dirtbag grates on me so much that it's actually gone all the way round. And yeah.
Is it nostalgia now, Rob?
Well, it's not even. I never bought it, but every time it sort of randomly comes on somewhere, and it's certainly not in the music collection. I can tell you that. But yeah, I had to look it up because I didn't know who the band was. But it's just
Wheatus,
that chorus.
Wheatus,
Yeah, it's just that chorus.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, it gets in my head, and I can't get it out.
Dreadful track.
And then I hate myself.
And so you should.
Quite right.
I will admit to this. I actually bought that album, and the only thing that's worse than Teenage Dirtbag is the second track is their cover version of Eurasia's Little Respect.
Oh, God, yes, I remember that as well.
do you
want to be one-upped on having bought the album?
You went to see them live, didn't you?
Saw them live.
Oh, it's all coming out now.
Saw them live.
I'm delighted I mentioned it.
Shame.
And it's one of my go-to songs on SingStar, so, you know, it's great. It's awesome.
Well, the right can of worms opened up here.
Great karaoke song, definitely.
Yeah, it is perfect, absolutely perfect, yeah. Again, you can't be dead inside. You've got to be happy.
I'm quite content with being dead, thank you.
It is the season to be jolly.
It's a
but
weird
that's stretching it a
juxtaposition.
bit.
Okay, so Stu.
You know, I don't want to go.
No.
I don't want to go. No,
Here it comes.
no, because it's worse.
I'll tell you what.
Right, okay. You know what Robbie was saying? Hang on, before Robbie was saying it's a song which I don't like, but I can't stop listening to it. So therefore, does it count that I do like it? But I keep on humming it, and then when I do hear it, it does make me smile. I'm thinking, oh yeah, and then I realise what I'm smiling at, and then it makes me sad, but then it makes me happy.
Here it
so
comes.
I'm in this. No, and we've done a podcast about this as well.
Oh, it's
so
the wedding present
maybe that's
again, isn't
why.
it?
I'm scared.
No, because I'd like the wedding present. Yada yada. Right, here we go. Katy Perry fireworks.
What?
It's just you know, today I've listened to it about 3 times again today, and you know what? It's rubbish, and I know it's rubbish. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, you must listen to this before you die." No, actually, don't. But for me, it's just happy. I just like the chorus way it goes. The lyrics are terrible, but I just like the way it builds up, and then you just want to stand on a building like she does with hands up in the air and fireworks packing all behind you. I think it's awesome. So I think we should have that. Yeah. There you go.
I would say you've not heard Katy Perry's Firework until you've been at sort of 1:30 a.m. in the girls' toilets in a club when it's playing in the main room and all the girls in the toilets are going, at various tones.
Yeah, I did that. I was thrown out, though. It was a bit embarrassing. There's a court case pending, but, you know, we won't talk about that just now.
Actually, no one noticed I was in there.
You had that mask thing on, didn't you?
Oh, just, you know, I can cut a dress, you know.
So yes,
a good dress is a good dress, Robbie.
That's right.
So that's my embarrassing, but yet I hate myself, but somehow I like it. I just can't help
So
it.
you should.
And trust me, I have a whole barrage of songs like this as well. So
Oh dear.
go on then, Si. Let's hear it.
Okay. I wholly apologise for what I'm about to do.
Can't be bad as mine.
It's going to be Oasis, isn't it?
It's not going to be Oasis, but it's the next worst thing. I'm picking this song because I heard it, I liked it, it's catchy, it's cheesy, it's poppy, it's nothing like you'd expect from the artist, to the point I thought Shazam was wrong.
You kissed a girl and you liked it.
No. The song is Glimmer, and the artist is Liam Gallagher.
Wow.
Right, I'm out. I'm done.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
If you said no, I'm going, okay, whatever. But Liam.
I know.
The reason why I don't like the actual band is because of that. Oh, Simon.
That what, Stu? That what? We're going to get him to say it. Go on, what is he?
Well, I hope that's the last question of the evening.
I mean, the song it's one of those, it's an earworm song. Once you've heard it, it gets in your head. You wake up in the morning and you've got it in your head, and then you go to bed and you've got it in your head.
But does earworm mean you like it?
Yeah, I do like the song, but I really, really hate myself for liking anything to do with Oasis.
So you should.
And I'm kind of hoping this is the exception to the rule that all Oasis-related songs are wrong. I mean, they do say that your choice of Oasis song indicates your choice in music. I.e., if you like Oasis, you've got bad choice in music. But yeah, it's Glimmer. It's Liam Gallagher. It's going on the playlist. It's the end of the world as we know it.
I suppose at least we need a song we need to go, that's playing. I need to go to the toilet or clean up the dog shit from outside. I don't know.
Well, see, the problem is with the playlist is that we're then going to listen to it and we're at great risk, exposed even.
It's like COVID.
Of suddenly agreeing with some of these things.
But you do know you can put a block on a song in Spotify. You can block a song.
Well, I don't think that's entering into the spirit of the playlist, is it?
Okay, well, that was a painful category. And I apologise for those 6 songs you're going to hear. So let's lighten the mood and go with the Cloudbuster next. This is the song that lifts your mood whenever you feel a bit down after you've heard 6 songs like those last 6. Or things that are not going as you expected. I was listening to that playlist. So, making their choice first for this one will be Emma.
Add that I'm first because this was a contender for my song I Hate Myself for Liking. I have, but I also love it so much. I've gone for Pitbull Fireball. So you'll know if you've heard it. It goes and everyone starts dancing, and there's stars and shooting stars, and everyone's on the table, and there's shots, and there's happiness, and angels sing, and life is perfect. And it's terrible, obviously. Pitbull is like a short Phil Mitchell, but a bit angrier. And he thinks he's really sexy, and all the songs are about how cool am I. But it's an amazing song. It's so much fun.
I'm listening to it right now. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a little jig. It's all right.
It makes me happy.
Oh, I'm just looking at some of those lyrics. Baby, 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 I'm on fire.
Prolific.
It's closely followed up with baby, 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 I'm a fireball.
Well, I suppose if you were on fire, you wouldn't just say you wouldn't just get someone's attention by going, "Hey, Stu, I'm on fire." You'd be going, "Stu, Stu."
What, Robbie? What?
Stu, over here. Look.
What you want from me? Look.
So is it more a case of baby, on fire?
This is going into fuck me pumps range again, isn't it? Oh, that's going to be an interesting one. Thanks, Emma.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Okay, Cath, how do you follow that?
Right, so I was really stuck on this one because there were so many songs that I love. That I've got a whole sort of playlist on Spotify when I go running, just playing like the best songs. And then
Only the best songs.
Only the best songs. Then I think I was listening to Six Music the other day, and this band came on that I've not heard for a while, and I think they're brilliant. And the tracks are so. I mean, they're an indie band, but they're just so different and fun that, yeah, it always lifts my mood. So the song is Magic Onion, and the band is The Lovely Eggs.
Wow.
Okay.
We've entered unknown territory.
Yes, we have.
This sounds like an order of sides in the chip shop.
I think they're from Newcastle. I think they're northern, but yeah, they're just really uplifting and really fun to listen to.
Okay, that's another new one to experience, I think.
And what is it that uplifts you about it?
The melody, the way it's sung, the lyrics. Yeah, all of the things, basically. They're all really good.
Including the band name, the Magic Eggs?
The Lovely Eggs.
Oh, the Lovely Eggs.
I was going to say, I couldn't find the Magic Eggs. I found them there.
Magic Onion.
The Magic
Onion. Magic Onion by the Lovely Eggs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think their videos are pretty good as well.
That is awesome title.
The smell probably isn't the best.
Well, they're lovely eggs.
Yeah.
They're not bad eggs.
They do have a song called Fuck It, though, which I'm...
Okay, that sounds like a cracker, that one, actually.
Hey, good pun there.
Excellent.
The yolks are non-stop.
Yo!
Yeah. You must have been ecstatic when you heard it.
Robbie, where are you going?
Yes. Well, so I struggled with this one because I thought, well, what is it that makes a song that I find uplifting? And the only thing I could think of, well, not the only thing I could think of, the main thing I could think of was it has to have like a sort of soaring vocal. It doesn't really matter what the music's doing so much, but the vocalist's got to be into it, and it's got to be sort of up in the stratosphere a bit. So
Mariah Carey?
No, not Mariah. So I had a good dig through, and then I'd sort of decided it wasn't so much the soaring vocals as just a vocalist or a singer that's really into it. So I have picked a track called Destiny by a band called 07. I don't know if you've heard of
I've heard 07. I like 07.
Yeah.
They're great.
So 07 are an English musical duo. They started by being engineers for bands like Pet Shop Boys, and then at the other end of the spectrum, Robert Plant as well. And they've done things like remixing Radiohead, etc. And they come out with, I suppose it's electronica in a way. They have a female vocalist, but Destiny just has that. It's a song about sort of supporting someone. If you're down, I'll lift your mood and all this sort of thing. And it's just a very positive song, not about heartbreak or so yeah, I'm going to pick zero.
That when we did that episode and the perfect barbecue song as well, this is a perfect barbecue song as well. This is,
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
It is awesome.
So it's a sundowner. It's a cocktail.
It's
the
awesome.
Cocktails are coming out.
Song.
So yeah, I'm going to thrust that in for the collection. Check it out.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Robbie.
Sophie Barker is the singer. So there you go.
Excellent.
Okay.
Stu.
Yeah, and I'm scared.
What lifts your mood? I should be.
Right, so. Lifts my mood. And to be fair, I don't care with anybody else's mood. Because my mood is lifted. To be fair, I had a couple of things on here, and it's really hard to choose because, we all love music. So music does make us happy. So it's really hard to pick that one. And to be fair, this is one of many. I can't even pick one at the moment, but the one I've landed on is It's Not My Name. That's Not My Name by the Ting Tings. That song to me is just the way it builds up and the harmonies, and at the end because it's the drummer or the producer as well. it just the way the vocals just in and out, and it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. It's just a fantastic song. The lyrics are a bit, that's not my name. It's a bit like, but like, to be fair, the song, it's at the end, the last minute and a half, and it's just this crescendo of amazing harmonies and the way it just builds and builds and builds. It's to me, it's a perfect, and it just makes me so happy every time I listen to it. Also, I've got a friend of mine who sadly passed away a few years back, and I wouldn't say it was one of his favourite songs, but I know we really liked it and we really loved singing it as well. Like when it was in the club or whatever, it was just awesome. So it just brings really happy memories for me as well. So that's my song.
So they're a duo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've never heard this song, Robbie? You must have heard this song.
Listen, I'm stuck permanently in the 90s.
No, this is 2008. This song was released.
Exactly.
No, I mean,
Robbie stopped listening to music in 2006.
Yeah, that's it. I've done it all.
And they are still releasing albums today, and then they're okay and all that. And the album, this album it's all right. There's a couple of good songs, but this is the standout one. This is also a great karaoke song, I like to add, because you get really into it as well. So no, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant song.
They had another one as well.
Cool.
I seem to remember.
Shut up and let me go. Hey.
Yeah.
That was it.
He's so finger on the pulse.
He was. I thought he was just like keen to just like shut up. I want it on my choice. Give me my choice.
No, that's a good choice, Stu. I'm not. I can't berate you or.
Oh, to be fair, I thought everyone was going to slag it
sadly.
off. I really thought everybody was going to slag it off.
No, actually, I quite like the Ting Tings.
That's great. Fruit Machine, that was another famous one they did. I remember. Not very good, I've got to admit, that song, but.
Oh, they've got a new album on the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, the stuff now is actually very different to what they were doing back in 2008. But yeah, they're a great band. It's still going. But that song to me is a standout one. Makes me happy. All good.
That's
Cool.
all that counts for this category.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to go in now, and I've got pretty much the same as
Mess it all up.
Mess it all up.
Yeah.
Totally.
Mess it up.
I was a bit like you, Robbie. It was like, what are the elements for me that make it an uplifting song? I mean, I found a few, like on various songs. I mean, firstly, avoid the D minor chord, is
Yeah, of course.
because that's the saddest.
The saddest of all chords.
And then you have to hear some, but not all of the following, and that's a driving drum beat,
Mm-hmm.
hand claps,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that rock sound effect when you scratch the guitar pick up the string before hitting the riff,
Mm-hmm.
a catchy
Cowbell?
chord, cowbells, yeah, that's possible. A singing crowd, whether real or manufactured.
Ooh.
And if you tick all of those boxes, then you're quite possibly listening to Could Have Been Me by the Struts.
I was going to go with something by Queens of the Stone Age there, because that picked all the
Yeah,
boxes as
yeah.
well.
I mean, the
I was
Struts,
thinking just Queen.
just Queen. I mean, there are so many songs. It's literally, I have notes for 3 different songs here, and it's like, I'm going to pick one of them. Which one am I going to pick? And then my notes kind of went in with Robbie's, so it's like, I'll go with that one. Yeah, Could Have Been Me by the Struts. Features all of those elements. It's been covered in the film Sing 2, but we're not going to hold that against it.
That's a great film. I like that film.
It's almost guaranteed to turn a fuck it mood into a fuck yeah mood. And it's pretty much why it's getting my pick. It's just one of those, the lyrics just are, don't worry about what's happened, dust yourself off, get on with it, everything's going to be okay.
I'm just having a quick listen, and my God, there's a massive crowd bit, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
With the hand claps and everything.
I mean, it's a totally manufactured crowd, but he's singing as if he's there with the crowd, which you know he's not.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, come on, yeah. And it's like, they're not there, man. But I'm glad you're fucking happy because you're making me happy. So, not quite ruined. So that honour falls to you, Dwayne. Are you going to mess it up? Or
To ruin it? No.
Yeah.
This is a great song. So, no. So the problem is with this category, it's like there's so many, and like they kind of do like these like charts and like surveys, and like always the same songs come up. So like Mr. Blue Sky, Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, Mr. Brightside by the Killers. All those kind of like they're just like they're great songs. Don't get me wrong, and they seem like obvious choices, but I went with the 1998 classic one-hit wonder, You Get What You Give by the New Radicals. I just think it's a great song. if I ever did like a standard pub band, this is on my playlist. It's got a cracking bass, like bass line. I love the bass line. I just think it's a great song. And the guy went on and wrote, I think he wrote Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophie Spexter, and I think he wrote Don't Judge Him Please, Life is a Roller Coaster by Ronan Keating.
Wow.
He's a quite prolific songwriter now. But yeah, great. This is a great song. It's a great song.
I mean, to be fair, Sophie Alex Bextor's still milking that song 30 years later.
Isn't she?
And why not? Which you can. Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying, though, Dwayne. It's like when you're always trying to find uplifting songs, it's like the first thing you want to do is go into Spotify and put in uplifting or happy songs. And do we really need 52 bajillion playlists with exactly the same songs in a different
They're all
order?
the same. Always the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like every time you're going to get Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, you're going to get Mr. Brightside, all of those stuff. And it's like finding the occasion. When you finally find one song that you haven't heard on one of the other playlists, you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll have a listen to you. But yeah, it's Spotify is the spawn of the devil as well as the crux of our podcast.
Okay, so can you, spot quiz, can anyone name the other cover version that Sophie Ellis Bextor did that reached number 2 in the charts?
Was that the disco one? Dancing at the discotheque? Crying at the discotheque.
No.
She did do that, though.
It was Take Me Home by Cher.
Okay.
There
Wasn't
you
unaware
go.
of that.
Did not know.
Good old Cher.
Yeah.
Only Cher can turn back time, as we know. So.
That is true.
She can turn back time, but she can't turn off the auto-tune. Okay, so our moods are now most certainly lifted. I'm going to throw in a bit of a curveball here and put in a previously completely unplanned category that no one knows anything of. It's going to be on the fly. It's mainly for our guests, but we'll probably jump in as well, guys. It is song by an artist you would like to see featured in a future episode of Album Armageddon. So, as you finished up, Dwayne, you can start the ball rolling on this one.
Oh, well, so talk about put me on the spot. I had no idea this was coming.
What a great script work.
Yep. I could obviously choose like some band I love. Like I was thinking maybe like Muse, because I love Muse. But then the other day, my brother posted that he'd been to a gig, and I was like, oh man, that guy is such a great songwriter. Like, and it's like been around for years, been in several bands. I know Stu watched on the Glastonbury, and I know he commented on it in the group chat. So I would say I'm going to put on Good as Gold, brackets, Stupid as Mud by The Beautiful South.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's the first time they've been mentioned on the podcast.
The Beautiful South are actually, like, Paul Heaton is actually an amazing songwriter. Songwriter.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Beautiful. I'm trying to think. What was their big hit?
Little Time.
Was there something about?
I need a little time.
Oh yeah.
That was like
about
1990. But they've had loads. If you go listen to Carry On Up the Charts, you'll be like, "Fuck! I know all of these songs. All of these songs."
Okay. Yeah, totally. They are. I mean, they are. He is very.
And obviously, he did the House Martins first with Fatboy Slim. Don't forget that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Norman Cook, the bass player.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Marvellous.
Excellent. That's a good choice. That's one for considering. Emma, who would you like to see on a future episode?
What a question. I don't want to pick anyone that I like too much because
Cath's there.
Because I don't want to hear the horrible things that you'll say.
So you need to pick someone that you completely feel either way about.
Listen, Emma, it's a rite of passage. If your band you love doesn't get absolutely slated by the people you like, then you've not lived.
I mentioned every month going forward.
Every goddamn month.
I reckon I'm going to go for Bastille because I know that everybody has heard one of their songs. I've seen them at enough festivals to know people are going to shout, play the one song, play Pompeii. But I have all of their albums and I can't find a bad song on any of their albums. Just every time I listen to it, I think, oh no, this one's better. Oh no, this one's the best. Oh no, I love this. And it's the sound, the lyrics, the mood, everything about
Don't
it.
worry, I'll try. I'll find it.
She will as well.
She will. So yeah, if I need one song from them, I'm going to say 4 a.m., which is one that I heard live the first time, and it just totally kind of took me into another world, like watching this. They had a spinning sofa on the stage, and it was all about this sort of waking up at 4 a.m. after a party and that kind of existential what. And I absolutely loved the mood, the lyrics. It's amazing.
Wow. Listen, if there's a spinning sofa, I'm in. So, Emma, you mentioned a really interesting thing there about, crowds just wanting to hear that one song. Now, I absolutely hate that. I want to go and see a band who's going to pull out deep cuts and ignore the hit that they had.
Yeah.
And it's almost like some people turn up to see bands because they know that one song and they don't know anything else about the band, but they want to hear the hit. And
I'm just a teenage dirtbag.
Well, they didn't play Teenage Dirtbag. It wasn't that good a set list.
I feel like it must be so soul destroying for the band, especially if that was a single that doesn't even represent their sound, and then that's what they are known for. Yeah.
Well, I was reading on social media. They've been talking about The Cure quite a lot because I think they've just released a new album and they haven't done so for quite a long time. And I think Robert Smith was interviewed and he said that he hates Friday I'm in Love, and yet that's one of their biggest songs.
Yeah.
And he just, every time he has to play it, he just dies inside a little bit more, which is quite appropriate for a goth, I suppose.
Do you know, I think it's Supergrass do not play All Right. It's their biggest hit that they do not play All Right.
Yeah.
But I think for that very reason, it's like, no, don't play that song.
Interesting facts. The Wedding Presents also don't play a lot of their hits by choice. But moving on, shall we? Moving on.
Did they have any?
They had many hits. Dude, they had many
define
hits.
hit.
They had many hits. We've already discussed it on the podcast. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on swiftly. Robbie, who would you like to see on a future episode of?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of candidates that I'm not allowed to mention because no honourable mentions here. So I'm going to pick someone a bit more modern. I'm going to get down with the kids now. So there was a band I got into recently. I went to see. And they've got a very big student following. And this is a band called Henge. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Heard of
Yes. Yeah, so they're a rock band that formed. Well, I say rock band. They formed in Manchester, 2015. They play a type of electronic crossover rock that they call cosmic dross, and the whole premise is that they've come down from an alien civilization, and they're here to basically help humanity reach the next level and colonize space and get rid of all global warming and all this sort of stuff. And they stick very true to the whole premise when they're playing live, but they are a live band. They've got a live drummer, bassist, the singer plays guitar, and they change styles a lot. I've got their first album and I'm just a bit worried that some of the later stuff seems to pander to kids a little bit too much, so I'm just hoping they're not losing their trajectory. They're into cosmic trajectory, should we say?
This is the one Paris trajectory.
Yeah, but the track that I would like to hear analysed on this excellent dissection of music is a song called Mushroom One, which apparently is the name of their spacecraft, but also may relate to mushrooms that come out of the ground and may be used for various things.
There's mushrooms.
Yes. So it's almost like a dubstep come rap come rock come electronica song, but they're different. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to throw Henge into the mix for you. There you go.
Okay.
I mean, they do sound like the drugs do actually work.
The
Yep.
drugs haven't stopped working.
Yep. And they've got a very charismatic frontman who's all sort of looks of, yes, this is happening.
Oh, sorry, I don't know whether you prepared anything, but would you like something? Have you picked anything? What would you pick?
What would I pick?
Or were you allowed to say? I don't know.
Well, see, this is the thing. It's a hard choice probably for us because we know what's coming up in the next few months.
Well, you say that, but me and Cath ain't got a clue. We just rock up. We ain't got a clue.
I mean, I can remember one or two, but yeah.
I mean, two have just popped into my head. Weezer is a band that quite often pops up in our conversations of bands to pick.
Okay, I love Weezer.
Yeah.
However, I think I'm going to go with the other one. I'm going to go with the Killers.
Oh,
as a band, I'd like us to see us do in the future.
I've seen both live.
Okay.
Weezer are way better. I was very
I can
disappointed
imagine
with
that.
Killers.
See,
Very
I love the
disappointed.
Killers, but they only have like 2 or 3 good songs.
Oh no, they don't. They have a lot of songs. I'm going to go with the Killers, I think, and I'm going to throw on their latest single, "Bright Lights," which is a very Bruce Springsteen stroke
It is, isn't it?
feel to it.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
It's like when I first heard it, it's like, oh, Bruce Springsteen is going to be suing for this one, and then it's like the more I heard it and was listening to lyrics, it's like, well, Meatloaf kind of is telling his grave as well here, and yeah, it just kind of works. The only problem with it is there is a saxophone on it.
Death the saxophones.
Yes.
Hey, no. We like sax.
Sometimes. No, we don't.
Yes.
We don't, Dwayne.
Yes.
No, we like sax.
Brass.
See,
Yeah, brass is different to sax.
Sax,
No,
yeah.
it's all part of the same. Like I know technically sax is woodwind. But...
Okay, because it's got that saxophone, I'm going to go with Weezer. And, and I'm also going to go from their latest album. I'm going to go with Hero.
Okay.
Which is from their album Van Weezer. It's like they've got in a time machine. They've gone back to 80s cock rock, and they've basically stolen a load of riffs. And I mean, they blatantly play Crazy Train on one of the songs. But it's like completely different lyrics. It's like, no, that's still Crazy Train. But yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with Weezer. We'll go with Hero. So, okay, let's throw it back to you two. What would you two? Let's go with Cath first. What would
Go
you?
with Stu first. Go with Stu.
Why you think about it?
No, I've decided.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Oasis, is it? She's going to drop the bomb here.
No, I think I've picked a Houdini of a one, and I do think I'm going to get appreciation from Robbie, I hope. If he doesn't like this, I'll be very surprised.
Is it musical?
Okay.
So, no.
Pass the duchy. Yes.
Fugazi. A
Oh,
fantastic
okay.
band. The song I'm thinking of is Waiting Room. That bass at the start and the stop and the start and the way it just kicks off. I mean, who would have thought a straight edge band could make music as good as this? It's unbelievable. So, and the album is 13 songs and it was in 1989. I personally, I think the album's great. Apart from, I'm a bit simple and they are very politically charged and I don't understand half the songs. They're very intellectual poetry going in there and I have no idea what they're talking about. But it's very punk. Now, I don't like punk as a rule. I just don't like it. But this is something special. This is different. Now, whether you... I'd still class this as punk, but it might be, other people may not. It's just that thing. But it's just far more... This is a great album. You put it on now and it still works. It still stands up today. Even the recording technique, the sound of it is brilliant as well. So, yeah. Fugazi. Is that okay, Robbie?
Yeah.
Have I done good? Have I done good?
Yeah. So, I think one of the main guys in Fugazi, he was sort of tied in a lot with the Rollins band, and was very friendly with Bad Brains as well. So they were like the. I don't know whether it was because they were straight edge, but they got on very well with all the other bands in that genre. So highly regarded. Yeah. Good call.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Go on then, Cath.
So the big drum roll now, Cath. You've built it up.
Oh no! Don't build it up.
Here it comes.
So I'm going back to my comfort zone of the sort of the mid-90s. And I've picked Pop Will Eat Itself.
Pop Will Eat Itself. Yes.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
choice.
Bravo.
The album Dos Didos Mis Amigos.
Oh, well, okay, we'll talk about that.
To be honest, any track on that album, I think I'd be quite happy to listen to.
Excellent.
But yeah, just
Yeah.
trying to pick a genre that I might not necessarily normally pick.
Oh.
So try to not pick rock.
Here's an interesting stew fact. That band was the band which made me see what other music was out there. So when I was at school, I was just very into dad rock, I suppose, Dire Straits, Queen, and very like simplistic, musical type. Oh, and I had a work experience, and this guy just went, "Oh, listen to this," and it was Pop Will Eat South. This is this, and it blew my little face off. I could not believe music like this could exist. It's like, what kind of voodoo is this? Like, there's rap and there's rock and there's techno and there's dance and what is it? So I've got a special place in my heart for poppies.
Yeah. So would you say This Is the Day?
No, that's my album. That's not what Cath said. She.
No. Although I have to say, having just looked at the track listing of the album that Cass mentioned, that is hard to top. Though they are all massive tunes.
They are.
I'm just looking for Big Mac Fries to
That's
go.
on This Is This.
Oh, that was one of the. Is that Cure for Sanity?
Yeah. No, that's on This Is This.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're sampled heavily of Blade Runner and stuff on that album.
Yeah. And Can You Dig It?
Yeah.
And Wise Up Sucker.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, actually, those two albums would be a perfect album Armageddon.
Perfect match. Yes.
Yeah, a match up. That would be difficult. They're kind of funny because they're not massive, the Poppies, and in fact they've been touring quite extensively in recent years,
but not with Clint. Clint's out.
Oh, is he now?
He makes soundtracks now. He does film soundtracks.
Okay.
He hasn't been in it for like 15 years or whatever. So
Right.
So it's just not the
I
same.
thought you were going to say he makes sandwiches now in the corner
He makes
shop.
sandwiches down the local Cath.
He runs a
He calls
Subway.
his favourite sandwich is Hardcore Uproar Your sandwich.
They're a band that should have been much bigger, I reckon. The Poppies.
I mean, they were big in my world. Everybody I knew. And there was a Stourbridge band where I'm actually from. So, you had the Stourbridge 3, you had Poppies, Wonder Stuff, and Ned's.
Nice.
Tommy
Yeah,
does
Ned's a
it.
great band as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was all the epicenter where I live as well. It was awesome that time. Time to be
Oh, well
alive.
done, Cath.
Time to be alive.
Yes, good call for the Poppies.
Yeah, I mean, that was interesting. Stay tuned to listen to none of those artists because it'll be the new year and we've completely forgotten all of them by then. So let's get right onto our penultimate category, which is song-stroke artists that you have to listen to by the end of the year. Now, this is simply our recommendations of a song by an artist you have to listen to as soon as possible. And not to say the bar is high, but Stu picked Ren in this category last year.
I did.
But I'm going to go first on this one.
Rent by who?
Rent, not rents.
Oh, Rent by the Pet Shop Boys. That's what I heard. Got to listen to that.
Other choices are available. So I'm going to go first. So a little bit of a backstory to this one. I found this artist when she wasn't technically a singing artist. Her name is Roxanne, and she's a neurodiverse half, along with her partner Richard, the social media channel ADHD Love. Don't hold that against her. Don't think that she's just
Not
an
at all.
influencer. I found them when I was doing some research into ADHD and the compassion and patience that's required when a family member has ADHD. To digress slightly, they do this with both compassion and humour and make a lot of things easier to understand, as well as turn on a few light bulbs when thinking about neurodiversity. I highly recommend heading over to their website, adhd-love.co.uk, and having a look at some of their videos, because they actually do it with quite a bit of humour as well.
Excellent.
Now, after that sidebar, the actual artist you need to listen to is Roxanne. So I'm getting really good at these segues. Her stage name for her music is Rory, and her upcoming album is very much a story of the struggles she's experienced in her life over the last few years, from the death of her mother to being diagnosed and living with ADHD, becoming sober, attending therapy, and literally everything in between. She's 40 this year, and she's just a great example that it's never too late to achieve anything. And whilst I absolutely love her song One Drink Away, which is the story of how she's always walking a tightrope in her life, but the choice of song I'm actually going to go is Sorry I'm Late, which is basically her fuck yeah anthem of battling outlets that write you off and the internal thoughts of wasting your life. So yeah, for me, it's Sorry I'm Late by Rory. So, yeah.
I mean, that's difficult to follow.
Yeah,
It is.
heavy.
I mean,
Heavy.
I mean, you've thrown in a bit of heavy duty stuff there, and some positivity. I've got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the crux of it is my daughter she's actually been diagnosed with dyslexia, but we thought it might have been ADHD to start with.
Right.
And so we were looking up videos, and it was like just looking at things that someone with ADHD does that someone who doesn't have ADHD will find really frustrating. But for them, it's just normal, and it's like,
I think I've seen her live.
It's live.
Yeah, well,
Really?
it's at a festival, but I can't remember. I was at Birmingham Pride earlier this year. I'm sure she played.
Listen, I'm about that with most festivals.
Oh, yeah, there is that. Yeah, there is that.
I'm
Yeah.
sure I saw
I'm sure
them.
she played. I'm sure I've seen her.
I don't know.
I have to confer with my couple of friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but give that a listen.
Cool.
Give a look at their website. It's definitely something I feel that should be highlighted and everyone should have a look at just once. And definitely listen to her music as well.
No, that's definitely a good call.
Okay, so following that one, sorry, Dwayne.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. So mine kind of harks back from. So there's a band that I really got into. Actually, really sort of big fan of this band, and I kind of discovered them when MTV still played music. It was MTV2, I think, was like on, and they kind of like the alternative stuff, and so this band kind of in the late 90s, early 2000s. Kind of like this song was playing quite a lot, and I got into them, and they've become well known for one song, but they are more than that one song. So the song I'm going to put on is a track called Bleed American, which is the first track off their Bleed American albums. It's Jimmy Eat World. Everybody knows.
Okay.
Everybody knows The Middle.
The Middle, I was about to say that, yeah.
That, in my view, is not even the best song on the album, but it's the one song which like broke them. But they are absolutely amazing. I've seen them so many times live. So Bleed American is the album. Listen to the album. Futures is a great album too. I chose the track Bleed American because that's the first song of theirs I really, really heard. Kind of like started taking notice of them. I just love Jimmy Eat World.
It's a good
I
choice.
think my favourite's World You Love. That's one of the songs that I cry every single time I hear that song. I think it's just hits you right there.
Yep.
Oh man, we missed a trick there. We should have been looking at songs that make you cry.
Mm.
That's a good one.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Rory will not make you cry with her music. Her backstory, yes, but her music, no. Her music will definitely get you up and going.
What, going? As in
No,
gone?
not as going.
Dancing.
Dancing. Yeah, woohooing. Right, okay. Next I had on my list was Stu, but do you want it to be built up because of your Ren of 2024?
No, Jesus Christ, it's not as good as that. No way.
All right, then, okay, you can go next.
To be
then,
fair,
Stu.
I have got Ren as an honourable mention for another song, but I'll just touch on that a little bit. No, I'm going way old school. I'm going cast your mind back 20 years. 20 whole years.
What, the 80s?
2000.
Yes, the 80s, Dwayne. The 80s. The 80s.
Emma,
Right,
were
we
you
are in
born?
2024, everybody. So work 20 years back from that one. Right.
1967.
I've just had a recent love again. I mean, I've always loved them. Actually, to be fair, when I first heard this band, I hated them. And then I learned to love them. And then I just stopped listening to them.
Felt all right about them, and then I loved them again.
And then you find yourself and you
Is
go
it
and you walk in the
Coldplay?
dark room and no, and then shut up, Dwayne. and I just recently in the last couple of months, I've just awesome. So it's Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds,
Oh,
and he's
Oh,
made
God.
many, many fantastic albums. He's also made some rubbish albums. Heyo, you can't win them all, but there's one particular track, and it's just. It's just fabulous in my eyes.
It's the one with Kylie.
No, but that is a good track. That is, The Murder Ballads is a fantastic album. But Abattoir Blues, have you heard that album? And
No.
There She Goes, My Beautiful
What
World.
a name for an album.
Oh no! or it's a double out. It's Avatar Blood or the Lord of Orpheus. That's the name of the album. Anyway, there she goes, My Beautiful World. Now this track, this is like another one where it uplifts you. It should have been in an uplifter in the section, but it's just so good. It's another one of those tracks that builds up, and it's perfect. The lyrics to me, I'm a bit simple. They're a bit nonsensical. There's many. I think it was in an interview, and it's all about him having writer's block.
Okay.
And you could read the lyrics and you go, okay, yeah. Or you can think that you've got a muse, or you've lost your muse, or your muse is over there, or it could be something about completely different. It depends on how you want to interpret it, I suppose. But he actually said he was the writer, so therefore he said, about writer's block, so that's what you've got to go by. But it doesn't matter what he says. He could actually say the most ridiculous words in the world. It all goes with the way he delivers it and the way the music all builds up as well. And everybody knows Nick Cave.
Nick Cave and the band.
I know, but everybody. I mean, does everybody like Nick Cave here?
Mm-hmm.
Get a show of hands of respect.
Not that familiar, to be honest.
I mean,
to me, for some reason, he's one step away from Lou Reed in my mind.
Wow,
But that's
a compliment as well. Unless you don't like Lou Reed. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, we won't go there. We won't go there. This song as well just makes you just want to get up and dance as well. When it really kicks in, you're just there. I think it's choirs for me. I got choirs, and it's just like, whoa. Yeah, this album is. I just want to air drum. Yeah, I am a drummer, but I just want to air drum every time I hear it. I just want to get crazy. So yeah, that's my recommendation. There She Goes, My Beautiful World by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
I always see Nick Cave as a bit like Lionel Richie. Everyone knows.
What?
Yeah, everyone knows a Lionel Richie song,
Hello?
but they just don't know they do. Everyone knows a Nick Cave song, but they don't know they do.
True.
He's written so many songs. That man, he just can't stop. It's like Bob Dylan, just can't stop. He talks and over-record it. There you go, release it. It's just non-stop recording.
Yeah, and I think...
How old is he now? Oh, 67.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I remember when there was a feud as well with Pot Willie itself and Nick Cave. Graham from Pot Willie itself, he hated him. And there was like this little feud in... But, it was good publicity, wasn't it, in the 90s?
Everybody was always feuding in the 90s.
I said, everyone had a feud in the 90s.
It's boring.
Okay, so who we done? We've done
so I'm going to do one little honourable mention.
Okay, you're going to go with a Ren here, aren't you?
Yeah, it was the Ren track. So later this year, he made a song. I forgot the name of it. Oh, God, that's embarrassing. Anyway, made a song, and he used a sample, which he paid for legitimately, and it was all cleared. And he basically, the guy who made the sample tried to then sue him for you saying you used it illegally. That's the quick version. He didn't. He paid for it all legitimately. It's called Cujo Breakdown, and it is vicious. It's just
Is that not the diss track of?
If I was the editor, I'd be bleeping some parts of that song.
Because wasn't the song actually Sick Boy, which is his title track?
Yes, Sick Boy, that's the one. That's the one. Which is a fantastic song.
Title track of his album, which he's had to remove from all of these.
Well, no, but it's all back on now. It's all back on, and because the CEO of YouTube actually went to visit him and going, "Yeah, this is ridiculous. Don't worry about it. Your track can go back on there. We won't demonetize you or anything like that."
Fuck me. And where was my visit when I was trying to do that interpolation video of Green Day?
No idea, mate. No idea. So anyway, that's my honorable mention, and we won't go too much. But please listen to it. It's a fantastic track as well.
Well, he's broken the code now,
Yeah,
so I want to go back and do all my honourable mentions.
I only did one. It's been all.
Cath, what is your song artist that you have to listen to by the end of the year?
Yeah, so this is another one I really struggled with, and I kind of thought, I don't think there's any that you have to listen to by the end of the year. Listen to what you want. I don't care.
Oh, so democratic.
But then, yeah, I had to pick something, and it was difficult. So I was looking at the Spotify Wrapped, and I completely disagreed with it because Alexa has been causing a lot of mischief. So it's definitely not going to be Stereophonics.
Oh, thank God for that.
Whoa, where did that come from?
It's not going to be Stereophonics. I don't know why Alexa hates me, but there you go. So I discovered a new band this year when I was watching Glastonbury on TV, and sort of they're kind of interesting style, sort of rock, but sort of artistic rock. So
Not just
something
a bog
truly
standard rock.
me. Yeah, artistic rock, and they
Yeah.
wear very interesting sort of costumes and things. They're all women as well. So I listened to some of their stuff on Spotify, and just really, really enjoy. The singer is amazing. She's got a very powerful voice, very talented. I love the guitar riffs. I love the sort of the topics they sing about. The band name is a bit crap. They're called The Last Dinner Party.
Oh, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're actually, they're getting very well known this year off the back of Glastonbury, I suppose.
But off the back of our
we'll check it out.
podcast, Cath, off of our
And our
podcast.
podcast. But yeah, their album, it's brilliant. I love listening to it. All the tracks are really interesting and catchy, and yeah, they sound a bit like Kate Bush as well, but sort of modern day Kate Bush. But yeah, it's just a really fantastic discovery this year for me, because I generally don't listen to modern music. But
God,
yeah.
no.
No,
It's not that
just sort of-
cacophony.
I love indie music, and a lot of the indie bands, they were around 20 years ago. But no, I thought these guys are brilliant, so I'm really excited about listening to the albums they release in the future.
And what song are you going to go with for them, Cath?
So one in particular that I really like is called Burn Alive, and she wants to be set fire to. And it's
Wow.
it's a good song. It's
Okay.
good, it's got good riff, interesting lyrics, and incredibly powerful singing as well in that track.
Excellent. Just going back to your Spotify Wrapped and your playlist, Cath, did you have the world's weirdest genre recommendations this year? It's like in January you were in your Icelandic 60s mind-blowing lounge pop era. And it's like,
Well,
what
apparently
the
lots of
fuck?
tracks that were really high on the list. I've never heard of these bands or these tracks before. I don't know what it's talking about.
Well, Stereophonics are pretty big, Cath.
Oh, I haven't listened to The track was Dakota, but I absolutely haven't listened to that through choice.
I have.
Is this
Not through
is this
choice,
the right-
but it's been on. So my Spotify Wrapped was weird as anything. Madonna, weirdly, was my number 3rd top listened to artist this year. I don't know why.
I wonder.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like Blackberry Smoke was my top listened
Yeah, it's
track.
It's
It's like something skewed the algorithm.
yeah, something that's really. But weirdly, for some reason, my top track was "Unbelievable" by EMF, and it's not something I ever chose to listen
Really?
to, but it just kept popping out, and I just be
Wow.
like, "Oh, I like this song," and it played. So after don't know
That
why.
is
But yeah,
unbelievable.
my
Wow.
Spotify Wrapped was just bizarre this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
My Spotify bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. It was very bizarre.
Yeah, totally. It's totally weird. It was the genres that got me. It was like when they were like, you're in this. And it was just like AI picked 5 random words and put it into a sentence. Just like, yeah.
Pineapple pen.
Yeah. Okay, so Robbie, who is your song and artist that you have to listen to by the end of the year?
Well, so I'm sort of flip-flopping between 2 at the moment because we've had some serious stuff that people should, take time to invest in and support, and we've had some fun stuff as well. So I'm sort of flip-flopping between echoing one of those 2 strands.
I think you were going to say Echo and the Bunnymen just then.
No, God, no. But I think something that people ought to listen to for something completely different is a band called Heilung.
Yes.
And they are, well, they call themselves Amplified History. And live, it's a sort of combination of both music and ritual. So you're actually sort of taking part in almost like a shamanic ritual by being there and watching it. But they are a conglomerate between, I believe, Germany, Sweden, and Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. And they have a particular ace card in their female singer, Maria Franz. But they sort of do very clever things like pacing the music as if to the same sort of beat, same sort of pace as a heartbeat. So it harkens back to a sort of a much older, sort of primeval senses a little bit. I'm going to throw There are other tracks that I prefer, but I'm going to throw in an easy access one because some of it is a bit heavy duty. I'm going to throw in the track Naropo. It's different, man. It takes you back to what music would have been, 1,000 years ago or something. Very tribal, obviously, and they use a lot of real sort of bones and deer skins and animal skin drums and stuff live. Well worth checking them out. If nothing else.
I've got a fun fact.
Go on, Cath.
So quite a few of us are gamers.
I was just going the same way as you, Cath.
Yeah, they did lots of songs for Senua's Saga, which is Hellblade.
Okay.
It's sort of all based in like Norse mythology and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gamers will kind of know them from playing that game.
And
Cool.
does that game also has the best sound design in a game ever?
I think
It
it won
has, but
awards.
the most boring gameplay, but the best sound and graphics I've ever seen.
Anyway, let's not get away from it. But yeah, I'm going to throw Heilung in just for something to throw people off a little
good
bit,
choice.
and maybe go back and think about
Their life choices.
Your life choice.
reassess where music could be going. Maybe, yeah. So have a think about yourself while you listen to that.
Yeah.
Sort your life
Get
out.
that listened to, Taylor, and then let's see a new album.
Are we all going to run away and live in a forest?
Yeah, maybe.
You might be tempted.
Yes, please.
You never know.
I mean, out of all of us, Robbie would be the one that survives, I think, out of us.
Yeah, probably.
Emma, that leaves you. What is the song and artist that you have to listen to by the end of the year?
Well, I'll stick on the gaming theme. So this is an artist that you will have heard if you play Sims. It's one of her songs that's been in Simlish, and also whatever they've renamed FIFA. I've already forgotten. EA Sports
Kickball.
game.
EAFC.
Yay! Sorry,
Kickball
EAFC. So the artist is Baby Queen, and the song that I've chosen is "We Can Be Anything." So she's a singer from South Africa, and so I've seen her live at a couple of festivals, and she absolutely has that stage presence thing where she walks out and bam, everyone is gripped. It's absolutely amazing. So
I believe it's known as Rockstar It.
I've seen Baby Queen at an actual gig and not at a festival. I went with a friend, and she's fucking awesome.
absolutely amazing.
She's
No,
Asia,
she is
yeah.
so good. I love her songs, her lyrics. So her album is Quarter Life Crisis, which
Yeah.
I think is such a good idea. It's just everything is about that kind of period of being 25 years old in the modern day where everything's online, where one of her songs is Nobody Cares. So it's nobody cares what you look like because they're looking at their own face on that Zoom call. Nobody is looking at you. And I really love so many of her concepts. And so the song We Can Be Anything it starts off as somebody who's depressed at a party, and she's kind of saying, what's the point in life? Like, there's just no point to anything. And somebody says to her, isn't that amazing though? Like, we can be anything. We can do anything. Of course, there's no point. Let's go. And it's...
Have a sniff of this, love.
I like to think there's no drugs involved. I like to think that about all music.
Oh, Emma, so young.
So
I
nice.
know,
So
I know. But it's just such an uplifting song that starts with that, like, again, I'm going to say existential, this panic about existence, and then it's such an uplifting song, and all the songs have that mixture of just rocking out, partying, enjoying life, but also what the hell's it all about? And definitely want to listen to it.
I'll tell you something else. She does a triple rhyme between exponential, inconsequential, and potential. I mean, if that doesn't get you a goat straight away. Yeah.
But before we move
I
on,
mean-
Emma, did you notice the daggers and murderous looks you were getting from Cath when you mentioned Simlish and she thought you were going to mention Katy Perry? That's what me and Stu live with every month.
No, I live with hatred with wedding present. That's what I have to do.
Cath just likes to come in like a wrecking ball. I mean, it's not even the right artist, but I thought I'd squeeze it anyway.
Okay, before we move on, I am going to make an executive decision here. I am going to add an extra song. We often feature artists that we love. However, they have all made a fortune and don't really care if we pour scorn over their album because they're too busy counting their coins like Scrooge McDuck. What we don't feature is artists that are trying to make it in the music industry because we don't feel it would be very fair on them if we just completely ripped on any of their songs as they're trying to make it in this industry. And let's be honest, it's a hard industry to get into, especially with Spotify. You need something like 600 streams from a free account to count as one sale. So it's like exceptionally hard.
But James Blunt is doing all right.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
love
You don't need to pick him up.
Yeah, we only rag on millionaires.
Yeah, that's what it is. We only rag on millionaires. So I think it'd be remiss of us not to feature Neon Waltz on our playlist.
Yes.
Because they are in every episode, every single month on our podcast due to their amazing drummer, Darren, playing the drum roll for our playlist announcements.
Hear, hear.
Yep.
So I think we should highlight them as a thank you to Darren, Jordan, Jamie and Kevin. And I'm going to add the Stranger Things from their album Honey now and urge everyone that hears it and likes it to go over to their webpage at neonwaltz.com, pick up some Neon Waltz merchandise for Christmas and support the guys if they appear in your town on tour as well.
Bravo. Yeah, support your local artist. That's right.
Not
Or it's all
likely
gonna
for
go.
me, sadly.
Well, you never know. They might. They might go
If
to
they
the
pop-
future,
If they pop down
Dwayne.
to Auckland, then yes, definitely. But
Okay, time for our final category. And what Christmas show would be complete without some form of Christmas music?
Oh, yes.
So this year,
yeah.
the final category is going to be your number one Yuletide favourite, which is basically your favourite Christmas song, but we can only choose from the songs that have been number one in the UK chart on the 25th of December. The Christmas number one.
That's the one I picked.
Uh-oh.
Thanks either.
Uh-oh.
well, that's the category.
Cath's gone for a Midsummer song.
She's gone for Fireball by Pitbull.
I'm the same. I haven't picked.
Obviously, at the time of recording, the 2024 Christmas number one has not yet been decided. So it's any. Why am I even saying this? Because it's all bullshit now. You're not going to pick it.
It'll be Lad Baby.
No, you're not going to pick Lad Baby. Well, you might pick Lad Baby. Basically, the Christmas.
Is that the sausage roll?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
sausage roll film. The Christmas number one has been between the years 1952 and 2022. Is where you can pick from. 2023 is banned as it was Wham, and we are not Whamageddon dicks.
This is true.
There are many ways to go when it comes to the Christmas number one. Whilst the chart started in 1952, I'm going factastic here. The chart started in 1952. The era of the Battle of the Christmas number one only really started in 1973 when Slade's "Merry Christmas Everybody" went up against Wizards' "I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day."
Yeah.
Amazingly, in that two-horse race, Wizard finished fourth. With Gary Glitter's "I Love You, Love Me" snatching second.
Is that
Awkward.
still up
Yeah,
there?
awkward.
Yeah.
Then there is the era of the game show winners, starting off with the winners of Pop Stars, The Rivals, Girls Aloud, Sounds of the Underground, getting the number one over their TV show rivals One True Voice. Who are they? What then followed was year after year of X Factor winners. The final fact for this category.
It's not music.
No, it's not. The final fact is, though, the rules of the chart were changed in 2017 so that you can only have 3 songs in the chart any one time. Ed Sheeran used this rule to his advantage with his song Perfect. At the same time, he released a version of the song called Perfect Duet featuring Beyonce and a version called Perfect Symphony featuring Andrew Bocelli. Because they were only featured artists, Ed got the credit for all 3 songs towards his Christmas number one, and he got the Christmas number one for 2017.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Playing the game.
Anyway, enough of all that. Making their Christmas choice first, which is probably going to be some fucking song from September or October, is Stu.
No, don't pick me. Get somebody else. I'm desperately now trying to. Oh god.
He's got to figure the Christmas number one. All right, let's go with Robbie as he's keen.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously, I've followed the instructions to the letter.
Why don't you give him an apple?
And read the briefing correctly and then made my plan. One that did pop out was the Lewisham and Greenwich NHS Choir, who did a song called "A Bridge Over You." And again, out of context, that someone had been murdered and buried, and now they're just building a bridge over, like I don't know.
They think you're a troll?
I think, could be. But I'm going proper old school, folks. We're going all the way back to 1954.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're going Winifred Atwell, Let's Have Another Party. Now, let's take a moment to think about Winifred Atwell, shall we? So it was the one and only female instrumentalist to get to number one. Oh, as of 2023, that was. It's boogie woogie ragtime instrumental stuff. It's fun. It's old school. She was an incredibly successful artist and was very popular in Australia, I believe, as well. First black artist to have a number one in the UK. I mean, what else do you want to know? It's piano music. It's boogie woogie. It's ragtime. Get your Christmas on.
You've just
Mic drop.
just brushed over that. It was the first black artist to get the Christmas number one.
No, I pointed directly
sorry, you pointed
at the camera
right.
while saying that.
Okay. But that's in 1952. That's immense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I thought, our listeners are intelligent people. They can take the facts and let it percolate themselves. They don't need to have it thrust down them by me, But yes, first black artist to have a number one in the UK singles chart. Right. And that was the song that did it. And as of 2023, remains the only female instrumentalist to do so. So there you go. And she lived until 1983. Very big in Australia, very big in the US as well. She was on the old school Decca records, when we were talking about going back to the old Tina Turner days and the Cher days. So, yeah, there you go. Honky tonk.
And just for...
You can't beat it, right?
No, exactly. Just not that we're filling for, Stu and that to pick a song.
I can also tell you that her hands were insured by Lloyd's Bank for 40 grand.
Yeah, a bit more filler, bit more filler.
I can tell you that...
In 1952.
In 1954, she beat David Whitfield, his version of Santo Natal, to the Christmas number one.
Well, I'll tell you something else that's just sprung to mind. Her signature black and white rag became famous in the 70s because it was the theme tune of BBC snooker programme Pot Black.
Right,
wow.
Anyway,
So you've all heard of Winifred, you just don't know it.
Okay, let's go. Let's move on. Let's give Stu a bit more time. Dwayne, where are you going?
Right, so I did have a choice, but I'm going to change my choice.
Ooh.
Given Stu's love of the choir.
Ooh.
Well, just to make sure that to pick the thing that you think he's going to pick to make it harder for him.
Yeah. So
the one I picked wasn't number one.
So because he loves choirs, so see, originally I had chosen "Merry Christmas Everyone" by Shakin' Stevens, which is just a classic. But I'm going to go with the 1980 number one, Christmas number one, sent Winifred's School Choir with "There's No One Quite Like Grandma."
Yeah.
You are welcome,
Not
Stu.
the kind of choir I was going for, but I like that you've been thinking about me.
We love that you love a choir, Stu.
We do love a choir.
That's for you.
We do love a choir.
And do we know who they beat?
No, I don't, but I'm sure you can tell me.
It was 1980.
Yeah.
1980 was, amazingly, they beat John Lennon's Just Like Starting Over.
No.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Blimey.
Yeah, well, the best songs are normally number two.
Yep, that's so true. That's so true.
Okay, where are we going to go now? He still looks like he's reading a list there, so let's go with Emma.
Okay, well, I've had to be looking at the list as well because I was going to be a Whamageddon dick and pick Last Christmas. I was going to turn it into a Russian roulette but I will pick another one. I think it's an interesting list of songs that have been number one. It would be silly to pick one that isn't a Christmas one, so I'm going to go for Saviour's Day, Cliff Richard.
What's his worst?
It's a classic.
That's his worst.
Yeah,
We love Cliff, but that's his worst.
The lyrics are annoying. Like I'm not religious, so I don't really care about that. But I like the tune. If it had different lyrics, I'd love to add something different. But the tune, I enjoy. So we can have Saviour's
So if you
Day.
got mistletoe and wine, it would have been like, oh yes, mistletoe and wine. But,
Oh, see, I've got issues with mistletoe and wine. Who goes and sings Christian rhyme? I don't like the couplets in mistletoe and wine. But unbelievably, the song that Cliff Richard's Saviour's Day beat was the Christmas classic "Ice Ice Baby" by Vanilla Ice.
No. Wow.
well done, Cliff.
Possibly.
Well done, Cliff. Thank you for your service to music.
Okay, Cath, where are we going now?
Right, well, we're going to go back to 2009. So the Christmas number one there was a campaign organised to block a single from the television show X Factor from taking the Christmas number one, as it had done for a consecutive 4 years. So that Christmas number one is "Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the
Excellent.
Machine.
Yeah, someone had to pick
well-known
it.
Christmas
Not
song.
Christmassy whatsoever. but it's awesome.
Beating Joe McElderry, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was the X Factor pick of the year. And what's amazing about that song is that there was no physical release of "Killing in the Name of." Joe McElderry.
Oh, was
It's
it?
the first download-only single to become the UK Christmas number one.
Yeah,
And it sold more than 500,000 copies.
yeah, an
Really?
amazing achievement, which out of left field as well. It's like of all the songs they could have picked. But I think that year as well, there was a huge amount of songs that were going to go for trying to beat X Factor. I think.
Oh yeah, everyone wanted in on
Yeah,
that.
I think
action,
that was
didn't they?
wasn't that the year that Peter Griffin from Family Guy, his version of "Bird Is the Word" was released as well.
Oh
And
god.
Journey's "Don't Stop Believing" as well. And it's like they were all in the mix that year.
You might as well chuck the final countdown in as well. Listen, I'll tell you what we've not heard yet is who Winifred Atwell beat in 1954.
I don't-
Yes,
to the
we
number one
did.
slot,
It was-
so
I
I don't
I'm
need
waiting
no
to hear
film.
about
I
that.
think I've got it. I think I'm all right.
It was
I think
David.
I'm
It was David Whitfield's Santa Lua. We've discussed
Right
that.
then. Go on,
He's
Si.
on board now. He's there.
Right
He's
then.
there.
Go
Here
on,
it
Si.
is.
Go on.
Drum roll.
Give it to me. Right. I'm going to...
Stu.
Yes, hello. All right. I'm going to tell you the one I picked, which is not a number one. I didn't realise. I didn't read the memo, obviously. So the one I actually picked was Carols of the Bells by John Williams from the Home Alone soundtrack.
Oh,
And it is an
yes.
awesome
Alone.
track. And I was
Yes.
desperately looking, going, was it actually a number one? Have I got away with it? No, I bloody well didn't.
No.
So I can't have that. So what I've got to know, like, desperately...
He stuck in an
No,
honourable
that's
mention
what
without
I
saying
did
it was
research on,
honourable.
and now I can't use it. That's not fair. So, what I'm going to though, it was a number one. Now, sorry, you're going to have to help me out of who it beat tonight because I haven't done any research. But I've looked on the list, and I love this song. 1978, Boney M, Mary's Boy Child, Oh My Lord. That's a great track. Again, really very religious. I ain't religious whatsoever in any way, but like it's just a really happy song.
That's one Christmas standard that is not on my Christmas playlist.
Ah.
Even the darkness is on my Christmas
It's because
playlist,
you
and that one's not.
Well, because you forgot to put it on, or you don't like
No,
it?
'cause it's too gaudy.
Well, it is very god. I mean,
People
all
say
Christmas
he
songs are
doesn't
gaudy.
Songs
Not
of
all of
Bob
them.
Gotti.
All of
Not
them
all
are
of them.
gaudy, but
Not all
it
of
doesn't
them.
matter. And I've seen Boney M live as well, Stoke University. They weren't very good, to be fair, but it wasn't matter. I was very drunk and I had a good time.
Are they the one with the brother
Yes,
who
yes,
dances like
that's
crazy?
the
and-
one.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So who did they beat then? Sorry.
Oh, they beat the well-known Christmas classic, YMCA by the Village
Oh
People.
my god! Why didn't that get number
Oh,
one?
that should have been number
Why
one.
pick that one? Jesus Christ!
Wow.
There is no justice on this planet.
Yeah,
So Mary's Boy Child was backed with the more social advice track, Never Change Lovers in the Middle of the Night. So good advice for everybody there.
Okay, so that's everyone's options bar mine. So I had 3 options for this category. One has
Just tell us
one has already been picked, Cath, because that
Uh-huh.
song has to be in the playlist. But before I pick mine, you were originally going to pick "Merry Christmas, Everyone" by Shakin' Stevens, weren't you, Dwayne?
Yes.
I had an amazing fun fact for that song.
It's a great song.
It's a great song. It was co-written by a man called Mr. Bob Heatley, whose other prominent writing credit is for the theme song to Pat Sharp's Funhouse.
Wow.
Funhouse,
That's
a whole lot of fun.
deep
Research.
research.
It's a real crazy show
Exactly.
where anything will go. Funhouse.
Never can you say he's not versatile.
Oh my goodness, I did not know. That's amazing.
You can.
Okay, so long story short, I'm not a fan of Christmas songs in general. Don't care for novelty records. Don't care for songs that scream Christmas in your face. As such, I'm going to fall back into my gaming background and choose the only song that a fan of the video game Gears of War can choose.
Oh,
And
yes.
that is Gary Jules' cover version of Mad World, originally released as part of the soundtrack for the film Donnie Darko. A cult following of the song resulted in a rush release on the 15th of December 2003, just in time for it to be considered for the Christmas #1 race, and just beating The Darkness's Christmas Time. The Gary Jules...
I mean, it's quite a depressing
Oh,
song,
mate,
isn't
I
it?
was in a very...
But it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great song.
I mentioned this in our behind the scenes chat. It's like I scrapped my entire list at one point because it was like, I'm going to put everyone on Prozac if I have all these songs. But this one continued through. The Gary Jules version is very stripped back compared to the very electronic Tears for Fears version. And it's just a few piano chords. And I want to say a cello, but it's not a cello. It's something that imitates a cello.
A saxophone.
It's not a saxophone. It's definitely not a saxophone.
Saxophone.
And the song featured twice in Gears of War 3. Firstly, as the soundtrack to its launch trailer. And secondly, in a very poignant cutscene. No spoilers.
Okay.
And whilst it's not the happiest Christmas #1 ever, it's an amazing track. And it's a perfect track for reflection. And that is a part of what Christmas is about. So that's my pick of it. Ending it on the lowest of lows possible.
You know, wedding present released the Christmas stuff.
Oh, fuck
No,
It didn't get to #1 though, did it?
So the wedding present released a Christmas present.
Hey, boom.
Hey.
Okay, so that is all of our categories. That's all of our picks.
That's it.
That's it. It's all over, guys.
Christmas is done.
Done.
It's all over. That's the end of 2024.
Yeah, all for another year.
Pack it up. Get a new one out.
So, are we going to do the normal thing? Are we going to get Stu to read every single song on our
No, we're not, because I have no idea what they are. So.
Perfect. Okay.
You can do it.
Listened to the show.
Oh, okay.
You've listened to the show. You know what's on it. Go and listen to it. The podcast playlist of this year will be called Album Armageddon Holiday Special 2024. We don't mess around.
Very original name, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very...
Took us ages to think of
It's
it.
very similar to last year's one. Extra digit. And that can be found on Spotify by searching for the title of the playlist or alternatively searching for the Album Armageddon profile, where you will find both this bonus playlist and all other playlists from our archive. That just leaves us to wrap things up and for you to listen to go onto our Facebook and other social medias. You might even find us on Blue Sky. And Emma will welcome you in. She'll ask you questions. She will shine a light in your face. She will interrogate you to find out your favourite song and favourite live artist. And then you can give the show a share to your own timelines. And for us to wish you all a very happy Christmas and to say goodbye. So, deep breath here. Say goodbye, Stu.
Ho, ho, ho. Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Cath.
Noel.
Say goodbye, Rob.
Feliz Navidad.
Say goodbye, Emma.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Dwayne.
Matinee.
And until next time, where we will be taking another artist to Album Armageddon, it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.